Alrighty, Frank. I wasn't given any pre-information outside of a few text messages here and there, so why don't you tell me who you are and what you do, good sir?
Sure, Dakota. First of all, hello. How are you?
Hi.
Um, I'm Frank Perman, from just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For the last 35 years, I've been licensed as a funeral director, and I've also, for the last 15 years, done stand-up comedy. And um, this summer, I'll be shooting my second feature film, which is kind of fun. Um, I've been at this for a while. So I met Dr. Ken about a year ago, and I'm happy and proud to be here um, this morning. So thank you.
So
Thank you
I'd
for having me.
like to touch on a few things. First, congratulations on that film. So where are you filming at?
It's here in Pittsburgh. It's a standard rom-com with a little bit of an ending twist, and it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Not that I'm a star or anything, because that's far from the.
Every person that has a beating heart is a star, good sir. So you are definitely a star. What got you into comedy?
Excuse me. Honestly, it's my wife's fault.
It's
Um,
her fault. I blame her.
yeah, it was. It's true. She did that. The story is that I belong to a Kiwanis club, and we were doing a game show, and it was with students from a school. They read four books, and then the game show were questions from the books that the students and their families could answer. And I'm naturally a kind of a smart aleck, and after the show was over, one of the librarians from who helped sponsor the event came up to me and said, "Hey, we're doing a fundraiser comedy show, and we'd like you to be in it." And my wife said, "Oh, he'll be there." And I said to her, being a smart aleck's one thing, doing stand up is something totally different. So she turned to the librarian and said, "He'll be there." So for my first comedy show, I was in front of 650 people,
Jeez.
nine and a
First
half
show.
first show, 650 people, 9.5 minutes, and I opened the show. So I got kind of bit by the comedy bug. So it was her fault. And I still, is that credit or fault? I still haven't figured that out. Um, so now
A little of both, I think.
it's fun. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's not been a career. I've had some opportunities to do some shows with some of America's best comedians. Um, Brad Upton, if anybody knows him from Dry Bar Comedy, he was their first superstar, and very weirdly looks like the Pope, Leo. In fact, the two of them, I think, were doppelgangers. They even have that same wry smile, and that was been fun. And then I was also on the stage for comedian Gallagher's last show.
Oh, wow. So you got a lot of experience in the comedy world. Now, I'm
Yes,
sure Dr. Smiley would ask me to say, could you tell us a smile joke, good sir?
a smile joke, absolutely. Um, I'll start with this. I recently found out that I got a AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau. And I was really proud of that until it occurred to me, I'm a funeral director. Who's going to complain?
All righty, good sir. So, what powerful message are you bringing to the table today, Frank?
Well, the powerful message that I'm bringing to the table is that, look, I see so much tragedy. I see the finality of life. And I want people to understand that there's more to life than just working our way to death. Um, some deaths are wonderful testaments to the person that lived. Um, Never stop living. Even when you're looking at fewer tomorrows than yesterdays, continue to live, continue to smile, continue to do things in your life. Um, that's the message. There's so many more things to continue to do. That's what I would like people to know. And
So what inspired that message in you?
just living what I live and seeing what I've seen and doing what I do. I've seen really, really good funerals um, that have been celebrations. And then on the other hand, I've seen really sad things that have been extremely tragic. Um, my goal, my job is to help people move um, to a resolution of what's happened. People use the word closure, but I've never liked the word closure. Closure to me reminds me of closing a chapter of a book or closing the book itself. The stories of people's lives still continue all the time. And I tell people, continue to tell stories. Um,
I love that, Frank, because that reminds me of one of my favorite quotes, and that is the three deaths quote, where you have the first time, your first death is when you die, the second death is when you're put in the ground, and then the last death. And that's why I like you don't like closure because you don't want to have that last death. The last death is when the last time somebody speaks your name or thinks about you.
Absolutely. Very similar to if you ever saw the movie Coco, that whole movie is about
Yeah,
continuing.
it's a good movie. I love
So,
my Disney movies.
right,
Disney kid at heart.
right. And it's not a typical Disney
No, it's
movie
not.
at all. So
But what would you say was one of the most inspiring funerals you've kind of, or I should say, celebration of life ceremonies? Because that's one of the things I'm going to have. I'm not going to have a funeral. I'm going to have a celebration of life ceremony.
I- funerals are hard. To talk about one in particular, inspiring, there have been all kinds of inspiring um, people that I buried. One woman was a navigator on a bomber in World War II.
Wow.
And what happened is that after airplanes were built in the United States, they didn't have the men to take the bombers across the ocean to England. So the crews were women. They would bring the planes over, then take a transport back to the United States and bring more planes over. Once D-Day happened, those women crews were used to shuttle prisoners of war from France back to England for interrogation. Um, so what ended up happening is, and this is the story that I ended up putting back together for the family because they couldn't read the discharge papers of what they were doing and where they were. They were taking prisoners of war back from France to England, and their plane got shot down, and they were able to land in France. And this woman with a broken back held the German officer prisoners of war at bay until help came. And for that, this woman was one of the few women with battlefield honor. She had a Bronze Star for her heroism um, of doing what she did. That to me was like one of the most inspiring stories of of bravery that I had ever heard of. And when I found out, most of the women that got battlefield honors for usually medical reasons. They were medical staff, but she was actually in a fight. And I just thought that was just so inspiring. I just love that story.
It's amazing.
It
And I
is.
love that you remember that too. And I'm sure you remember a lot of people that come through as well.
Yes.
Probably almost every one of them, because that's never an easy experience. And I love that your goal is to try to bring out the positive in it. And it reminds me a lot of that analogy of the two people that are able to see the future, and one person's only able to see the good in future, and the other person's only able to see bad futures. And the person that sees bad futures is constantly optimistic and happy, and the person that constantly sees the good futures is always down and drabby. And so I kind of think of you when I think of that analogy, because you're constantly around the negative, so you find the way to bring out the positive in everything, and you take the time to appreciate life itself. So I love that about you, good sir.
Well, yeah. And so what I've done is in my life as I've gotten older, is it's about new and different experiences, things that I've never had a chance to do before. Like, now I did film a movie last year, and this year I'm doing another one. I was asked back by the director um, to do this, so it's been interesting. It's been fun. Um, Last year I went scuba diving for the first time. And there's still things I want to do. I'm not done. So I'm out doing fun things and trying new experiences and, maybe eating food or cooking food that I've never had a chance to do. My wife and I took a trip to Italy and I went truffle hunting in Tuscany. You know, that's fun.
What? Lucky? Did you find any?
What's that?
Did you find any truffles?
I did. In fact, I found the biggest truffle of the day, and it was white truffle, which is more valuable than a black truffle. And the farmer had a chance to look at when he looked at it, he goes, That's worth about 1,200 euro." I'm like, "Okay, truffle's expensive."
Yep, truffle very expensive. That's why
And
they
for those,
I think they train boars for that, don't they?
no, they don't use pigs anymore. They're using
No?
dogs because
Oh.
the pigs would actually eat the truffle. The dogs just find them and start pawing at it, and then you dig it up. So yeah, that's something else I learned too.
Well,
And
Frank, we're coming up on the last 3 minutes, good sir. Is there anything you would like to say to the audience, in specific about smiling and bringing the smile to the world?
yes, first of all, understand that when people tell those stories, they're giving you a part of themselves or they're a part of someone else. Listen to those stories because you never know where a message can come from. Um, it's not just a matter of opening your ears or your eyes. If you open your mind to the possibility of a message, that's where we learn. That's where we get stories. That's where we get things to think about, wisdom and knowledge. Those are the things that it's hard to listen and harder to listen and understand. But it's so worth it because you just don't know where a message is going to come from.
And each person's message is extremely powerful.
It
And
is.
I love that you said that it's like sharing a part of your soul, because it truly is. And that's why I value each and everybody's story. I've actually been watching and listening in throughout most of the day. So I love this smile-a-thon. It's amazing.
Well, what you're doing with this and Dr. Ken and Kenny putting this together is inspirational and it's something that we all need. This is a great time. Um, be happy. Um, I heard a quote that said most people aren't trying to be happy, they're just trying not to be in pain. And I was horrified by that message. Um,
Oh,
yes, we can be in pain, but there are also so many things to be thankful for. Be thankful and you'll be happy.